Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Liz and this is Simply Homeschool. So if you guys are returning, it's been a while, you guys, since I've done my last sit down, and I'm sorry, things have been super crazy, super busy. As you all know, you guys are probably in the same season that I am. So I just wanted to do a little catch up for September and October, let you guys know where we're at, what we've been doing, how school's going, how we're liking the subjects, and yeah. So if you guys love homeschooling content and you want to sit down and grab a cup of coffee or tea or your favorite drink, do so now. This is going to take a little while. I hope that you guys enjoy this. If you haven't already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you guys like this video, please hit that thumbs up. It will help me tremendously. And yeah, so let's go ahead and jump right in. School has been going really well, you guys. Let's kind of rewind back to September when we started. The first week, it was all about just trying to get the rhythm because we have two families coming together, doing homeschool together. And so we were trying to figure out how we were going to make it work as far as us teaching them with parent-led and them doing video-led, and then with my son. We had known that going into this that my son was going to kind of do school when he wanted. He's very active all over the place, strong-minded. So with that being said, I didn't want to really push him into school. He's only 4 and he just turned 4 in September. So I want him to find a love for learning instead of making him feel like it's a chore. So we've kind of just let him do it on his own. He has better days than others. You know, we ask him, let's do school, let's play a game, let's do this. So he's actually doing better than I had anticipated. So yeah, that's going well. And we are still doing it with when he wants to do it. We don't really push him into it, but we do set things up on the table. And then when he comes out, we're like, oh, you want to do school? You want to sit down and, you know, make this hamburger or do dot painting on your letters? And he'll sit down most of the time. Sometimes he'll tell us no, and he'll go down the hall to the bedroom, and then he'll come out a little while later and he'll be ready to do school. So that has really been working out well for us. Now, with the girls, we have a 2nd grader, a 3rd grader, and a 7th grader, and they're basically doing the same types of things. Okay, so for instance, they're all doing Abeka. 2 of them, the 2 older ones, are doing teaching textbooks for math. They're all using Apologia for science. They are doing different science curriculums. As far as the 2 younger ones are in astronomy, the oldest one is general science, and then history we are using Knotgrass. All of them are. The 2 younger ones are doing Star Spangled Story together, and then our oldest is doing From Adam to Us. And then what else? And we have a couple electives that we are doing with all of them, which we are loving, and I will talk to you guys a little bit about that in a little bit. So I'm just gonna kind of go down the line and think about the subjects that we do in order so that it's easy for me to tell you how they're all going. Okay, so first I'm gonna start with like scheduling. So when we first started, I laid out this schedule for us to where we had recess in the morning, we had morning basket, and then we all started Bible, and then it went into our other subjects. So with that being said, we had subjects, and then we had the time that we wanted to start them, and then the time that we wanted to start the next subject. So I literally, you guys, made a schedule. That's not working out too well. So we are not going along with the time. We are not going along with how long the class should last. You know, the classes change. You know, it just depends on the daily assignment for the day. It depends on how well the kids are concentrating. So we just decided to scratch that because that lessens our stress, right? So when my sister was planning on coming here in the mornings, it was supposed to be a little bit earlier than what she's getting here now. So she's usually getting here between 8 and 9, like literally. Some days she's here at 8, some days she's here at 8:45. So it's kind of just however we want to do it. However, if we slept good the night before, okay, whatever. So most of you guys may not be in that same situation because most of you moms are homeschooling on your own. So what happens is when they get here, we get everything ready to get started for school. And we were planning on having morning recess, which we don't have because we're starting later. Another thing is we wanted to do morning basket. Oh my gosh, I love the idea of it. I loved actually doing it. Okay, so we did about 2 weeks of it. We did some read alouds, we did some activities together. It was wonderful. But on those days, we started to notice that our days were ending pretty late. So we decided as a family that we were only going to do morning basket if we were starting earlier, or even, you guys, I've noticed if we're kind of starting off on a rocky day, we'll do something having to do with morning basket. If it's an activity together, if it's talking about a certain subject together, just a little bit of, morning time together, it seems to help the day. So we do that. What else? We also do the Pledge of Allegiance. We do our Pledge to the Christian flag and the Bible. We love doing that together as a family, and we pray together. So I'm going to be talking to you guys more about the actual curriculums that we're using later on in the year when we've been using them for a little bit longer, just so you guys know exactly what we felt in the beginning and at the end. And so it makes more sense, and we're giving you a true review basically on the curriculum we're using. So with that being said, we start off with Bible. All 3 of the kids do, and my daughter is parent-led, so I am teaching her with the Abeka Bible curriculum, and it's parent-led. I'm loving it. One thing I will say is I am adding in supplements because there is a lot of review in it, which is okay. A lot of kids need review, and my daughter does, but I do it in a different way. I don't just read the straight curriculum, teacher plan lesson book, by the book. I kind of add in my supplements, and you can see if you watch a plan with me how I do that. I posted one already, so it's on my channel. It's the latest plan with me. My 2 nieces do Bible with the videos, and they're good with that. They both enjoy it, so that's working out well. Now, the second subject and the third and the fourth, I think, are basically Abeka video led. Okay, for the 3rd grader and 2nd grader. So they have Abeka with reading, language, writing, poetry, and spelling. So language arts, basically. And they're liking it. It's not the most fun, but it is a very sound curriculum, and they teach them everything they need to know. So they're really excelling in it. Now, I will say that my 3rd grader is doing a little bit better with watching the videos than our 2nd grader, my niece. She has a little bit of ants in her pants, so she likes to be, moving around looking at stuff. So she gets sidetracked a little easier, but that's okay. We're working with it. We just have to keep reminding her to focus, pay attention in class, watch the video, or we'll just ask her questions as we're watching the video, because we'll take sneak peeks at the video and kind of be like, okay, what is she talking about? Just to make sure she's paying attention, because most of the time, even though she's sidetracked on other things, she's paying attention. That girl listens. She's a smarty. So that's basically how it's going with the language arts. Now, while the 2 younger ones are doing video-led, our 7th grader, my niece, she is working through her parent-led. And this is basically when we are taking turns on working with my son or trying to get him to work with us, or we're playing with him. So my sister typically does science with her, and that is a parent-led. She's loving the Apologia. There's a lot of notebook taking. So it's going really well. She likes it. There's a lot of experiments involved in it as well, so a lot of hands-on. When it comes to history, I'm usually the one sitting down with her for history, and we are loving that. From Adam to Us is really cool. It is a curriculum that combines Bible and language arts all in one. So I am seeing that throughout the history that there's a lot of Bible in it, which we are happy with. We're a Christian family, so anywhere that you can learn more about the Bible in other subjects is a plus for us. So that's working out really well. When the girls are done, I wanted to mention with the writing, I'm noticing that my 2nd grade niece is hating it right now. Anything having to do with writing. So even if she's writing for her history or whatever the case may be in her science book, she's not enjoying it. And I don't think it's a Becca, because my daughter went through the same thing. With the beginning of second grade, I swear you guys, that was an argument me and my daughter had quite often. Her not wanting to do her writing. And I just had to keep instilling in her that this is school, that she has to learn it, she will begin to love it, and she will know how to write stories and things like that. And the further she went on through second grade, she fell in love with writing. She would just write stories on her own. So I'm thinking that that's kind of what my niece is going through. I feel like it's a transition to when they know how to spell and they're learning how to put sentences together. And before you know how to actually put a sentence together, it could be frustrating for you because you're thinking of how to do it, but you can't get it out on paper right. And I think that that's where she's at right now. So I'm hoping within the next couple months it really clicks for her and she begins to enjoy it just like my daughter does. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that with writing, just in case you guys are having the same problems or issues with your kids trying to do writing and they're just not enjoying it. I don't know if it's so much a Becca or if it's just them not knowing how to write yet and it's frustrating for them. Okay, so moving on. After that, our second grade, my second grade niece. So after that, my second grade niece, she starts the Abeka math. Now, we started off teaching her parent-led, which was going okay, but we started to notice that we needed a whole lot of supplements because that's what it calls for in the book. A lot of the supplements that Abeka sells for arithmetic, you kind of have to purchase, or you purchase it through someone else, or you kind of make do. It was just a little too much. So my sister decided that she wanted to do video led with her. And also, we're a little scared to do our core subjects parent led, you guys. We're just not there yet. So we're trying to have our kids do all the core subjects with a teacher online. So with her, we are using the math through Abeka, and that's going okay. Again, she hates sitting for videos, so we interact with her and we just check in on her and make sure she's doing okay and paying attention. Now, moving on from her math, my daughter and my 7th grade niece, they do teaching textbooks. They love it, you guys. So for my daughter, she's on level 4 because they don't go by grades, and she's still in review. Once she gets past that review, I'll be able to see how much I really do like teaching textbooks, just because I want to make sure that how they're teaching is actually clicking with her. So we will see in the next couple months with the new concepts coming up if it's really a good fit for her. And the same thing with my niece. She's working through teaching textbooks. She's on review and we're waiting to see. Now, we still are on review, you guys, because we are only on lesson 40. So I'm going to put a pause or a hold on talking to you guys about the subjects real quick and just talk to you guys about what lesson we're on. Okay, so when we started school, we started in September, and so we did 6 weeks on. We were supposed to do 1 week of nothing, just like a week off, and then a week of a unit study, and then start back for another, I think it was set up for 3 weeks just because of Thanksgiving break. So we did the 6 weeks. We took the week off. We did a tea time party with my mom. That was awesome. We loved it. The kids loved it. And I have a video on my channel if you guys want to check that out. And then after that, let's see. So the week that we were supposed to do the unit study, we were supposed to do it on Australia. Now, when I scheduled everything, I saw that Sunlight was having a free download for an elections unit study. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we have to do it. It's perfect right now. The elections are coming up. And they were all at a pretty good age to kind of just talk to them about it, especially the oldest. She definitely, my 3rd grader kind of understood the concepts a little more than my 2nd grader, but it all worked out. So I downloaded that, and I was planning on doing that in place of our history for the week that we came back from our 2 weeks off. So I was going to do the Australia unit study, and then the week that we came back to school, I was trying to replace history with our elections unit study. As I was going through the calendar, I was actually doing a plan with me that I was filming that I was going to upload. I never uploaded it because it didn't make sense. I realized that we would be doing that elections unit study on the week that elections actually happened. So the elections happened on Tuesday and we would have had to do it all the way through Friday. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I don't want to do it like that. I want to do the unit study so that they understand it, so we could watch the elections and check in and see the states. And you guys, this year has been crazy and the elections were crazy, and we're not even going to get into anything political, but it's just crazy. So anyways, I had to figure out a way. So then I'm like, okay, if I replace the Australia with the elections and put Australia where history is for the next week, that's not going to be fun. Like the mini unit studies I was trying to do for fun, so that the kids would like have fun doing something with us, more like crafting and just learning stuff at the same time, kind of de-schooling, right? So I decided to do the Australia with the elections, and the days were a little bit longer. What we would do is we did 2 chapters in our elections unit study in the morning, and then we do Australia after that. So at least we were ending it on like something really fun, because let's be honest, not all of us are interested in the politics. I really am not at all. I never really have been. I know it's important and I do my duty, but it's just not the most fun, okay? So, especially at their age. So we ended up doing that, and it worked out well. The kids really did not complain. My 2nd grade niece did not like doing the elections, but she did it. She was a trooper. She did it, and they enjoyed watching the elections. I think they understood a lot more, so it was more interesting, which I enjoyed because they got to understand it, you know? So that's what happened with our unit study. Okay, so we were gonna start back to school, right? So we were gonna have school on Monday, and then we were gonna have school on Tuesday when elections were, and then work through the week. Well, Monday came, we didn't start school. Tuesday came, we didn't start school. And then we were just kind of like, we just didn't want to start school. We didn't want to come back late. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about is I knew that it has been a problem for me to de-school, to realize that we're homeschoolers, and you know, our lessons don't have to align on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and I struggle big time with that, you guys. I am not even gonna lie. Like, I struggle more than I thought I would, because going back, when we did go back to school, we doubled up work, okay? So I hate being behind, and I could see it now, and I feel bad for my sister because she had to deal with me, but and the kids. So the week that we came back, each day I added in a subject. So for history, they had, you know, 2 days of history, and then they had 1 day of history for the rest of the week, and then on Tuesday we had, say, 2 maths, and then the rest of the week, just to catch us up. It was crazy, but we got through it. And you guys, let me tell you, okay, so we went back to school and things were cool, right? Everything was good. And then my daughter had her birthday on the 16th, and she didn't want to go to school, and I'm like, we're homeschooled, she could have the day off. So we all took the day off. So now I had a pinky promise my sister and the kids that I wasn't gonna be crazy, that we're off by a day. So on, let's say, lesson 36, we should have been starting on Monday. We actually didn't start 36 until Tuesday. So we're off by 1 day, and I will admit it's a little easier, but it's still killing me, you guys, because I know, okay, because now we're off again. So we went back to school, and today's Saturday. So yesterday was our last day, and now we have this week off for Thanksgiving. So we are off a day still, and it's kind of killing me, but you know what? It is what it is. We're all good. Like, I'm not gonna let it stress me out completely. So if you guys are like me and you're struggling, it's normal. It's normal for some of us. I think I'm a type A. I really think I'm a type A, and I'm really not wanting to be. I want to be more relaxed and okay with everything. So anyway, so going back, that huge long story, you guys, is explaining to you why we're only on lesson 40. 6 weeks on, a week off, a week of unit studies, a week off, a week on, a day off, and then now we're a week off. It's like, a lot of time off, I feel like. And then we're gonna go back to school, I think for, is it 3 weeks? And then we have 2 weeks off for Christmas. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're never gonna get done with school. Okay, so, but I will say I am loving it because we have time off, you guys, and we have time to look forward to. So we're like, oh, we only have 3 weeks of school and then we're off another 2. It like feels like you're schooling, but you're not schooling. So I do love that. It kind of has been a struggle, I would say, on like the first day of going back, just kind of trying to get in the rhythm of it again. And our sleeping patterns are kind of messed up. So I will say that, but I'm loving it. So I'm really happy with what we're doing. Okay, so that was really long, but now back to the subjects. So I ended with math. Okay, so then my 7th grade niece, she starts her Abeka like literature and grammar and then her spelling and stuff. And she's enjoying it. She doesn't love it, but who's gonna love that with any curriculum, I think. She does really well and she's excelling, and that's what we want. We want to make sure that she's excelling. And I really feel like she's loving school more with the dynamic that we've done with parent-led and video-led, and we're doing unit study. So she's really happy this year. Last year, I felt like she wasn't really that happy, you know? So the changes that we've made has definitely helped, and it makes my heart so happy. So now with my daughter and my 2nd grade niece, my 3rd grade daughter, we do science and we're working through Apologia. Like I said, we have the notebook. We did purchase the experiment box that comes with all the supplies. Let me tell you, that is a godsend. I love it. Yes, it's a lot of money, but honestly, you guys, I think that it would actually save you money from you trying to find specific things. Some of the things you have in the house and some things you have to find. And I think that it may cost more if you're like trying to find them and purchase them online. So with that being said, we're loving it. It's working out really good. We're doing parent-led, and I don't know, I love it. Now, I will say science is not like my favorite. It really isn't. So the kids are loving the experiments. Me, on the other hand, not so much. If we're being completely honest. Some of them are cool, but it's really not my favorite. But Apology is really cool. We're working through astronomy and we're loving it. So with that being said, moving on to history, it's Star Spangled Story through Knotgrass. Love it. Love the curriculum. I am adding in supplements. I feel like the lessons are a little short, and for specific things, I want to add in more. So for instance, they talked about Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea, and they literally talked about it for a couple pages. And I really want to like study about Sacagawea. I think that it's really a good thing to learn about. So I started a unit study. I've been finding things to go along with our unit study, and I will be doing a video for you guys on that. So look for that. Make sure if you haven't already subscribed to hit that subscribe button. That way you guys get notified whenever I have uploads. Now moving on from history, our last thing I want to talk about is an elective. Now, my 7th grade niece started with The Good and the Beautiful's maturation, and that went really, really well. It went better than we thought it would. We kind of dreaded it, and even as we started, we dreaded it just because it's, you know, it's a tough subject to talk about when your daughter or niece or, you know, son or nephew or whoever you're talking to about these things is growing up, and you still feel like they're too young to know it. But in this society, no matter how much we try to keep them away from things, they're going to find out things or see things or hear things, or, you know, so better to talk to them, especially she'll be 13 this year. And it just, you know, it really seems too young, but I think it's really important. And the way The Good and the Beautiful laid it out was really well put together. Now, what we did is we kind of looked through it before we did the lessons and saw exactly what was talked about. And you should do the same thing. To fill out if there's some things that you don't want to talk about right away, maybe hold off another year or 6 months, and then when you see fit, go back to it and talk to them about it. But not only did we do well teaching it, but she did well learning it. She was very mature and we were very proud. So that went really, really well. I love the fact that it talks from a biblical aspect, and I think that that is what society is missing these days, is that, you know, being old enough to do things. I don't know what all I can say on here. So, you know, being old enough to do things and knowing that it isn't a bad thing if you are doing it in the right way, if that makes sense. I don't even know if that's going to make sense. But so I really like the way they laid it out, you know. And then, so she finished with maturation pretty fast. The two younger ones were working through a Becca Health, and that was going well. They're teaching them about nutrition and body health and, you know, stuff like that. And so they're actually not done yet with that. But because our 7th grader is done, we were going to start cooking with her. And we thought that it would be really fun to do a cooking class as a unit, you know, as a family, especially because this is something we can actually do together. You know, her being in 7th grade and the other two in 3rd and 2nd, there's not a lot of subjects we do together. So this we knew we can incorporate as a family. And we knew that she would really enjoy it too, instead of always being left out of that. So we found something on the internet and we've just been adding to it. And again, I will have that cooking on my channel. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have it up before this video or after, but just be sure to subscribe. You can always check out my channel for that video. It'll just be, I don't know, labeled cooking mini unit study or something like that. But it's a really awesome cooking unit study. It's not only teaching you how to cook or recipes, it's literally teaching you about the kitchen, you know, sanitizing, staying healthy when you're cooking, what utensils. It's a really cool unit and it's good for all ages. So I'm really enjoying that with the kids. So another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is we do like a reward system type thing. And when the kids are really behaving or doing well, or sometimes we, you know, spur on them a question and see if they answer it, we give them like little awards or certificates and stuff. You can print them off on Pinterest, find them on the internet, you can make your own. But what we do is we give them those throughout the week, and by the end of the week, they can trade it in for money, and then they shop in our little school store, which is pretty cool. They love it. So that's been really fun, and it's an added like incentive for them. I know it's kind of controversial about doing that, but I don't see any harm in it. I don't spend a lot of money, so that could go either way too. People are like, they don't want to buy junk, but for me, I spend less money on them because, for one, you have to buy multiple things for them to shop from, and my kids get bored with stuff pretty fast. So you guys can check out my homeschool store video. It's uploaded on my channel, and kind of get ideas of what I get for the box. They're loving that, and it actually helps. So that's something that we are still using, and it's still working. So I have a question for you guys. So with our kids, we notice if we give them a break and then they go back to school, and then they take a lunch, and then they come back for school, they do not want to work after lunch. So we've done it a few different ways. So we'll let them have a break, and then they'll come back, and then they'll eat while they're doing school. And then after a little bit, they'll take their lunch, but they'll get to play or hang out or do whatever they want to do for their lunch, instead of it just strictly being food. But we're finding that they just don't want to go back to school. How long are your guys' lunches? Do you guys give them 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour? We usually give them like 30 to 45 minutes. And I just don't know if that's too much time, and then they're getting out of the groove of wanting to do school. So if you guys have any great ideas for us that will help us out with that, let me know, please, down in the comments. We would totally appreciate it. All right, you guys, that's basically it. That's what we've been doing since September. It's going well. I hope that you guys are all having a great year. Let me know what you guys do, if you're parent-led or video-led or both, a combination, if you're doing unit studies. I'd like to hear all about it in my comments. Thank you guys so much for checking out this channel. I love that you're a part of this YouTubing family, and you guys be blessed always.